Hello and welcome to a video on adding and subtracting and multiplying polynomials. So we've got two goals today, add and subtract, and then our last goal is to multiply, and I'm going to teach you also how to use a product pattern to help you out and save some time. So the first video is going to be about adding and subtracting, and then you will have to watch part 2 for multiplying. So to start off, let's add. I'm going to teach you two ways, vertically and horizontally, and then you get to pick whichever way you like better. So when you're doing it vertically, we are going to stack them on top of each other. So we're going to stack, and we're going to add. So I'm going to rewrite this. So I've got 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 7. And I want to add to that my second polynomial, x cubed, underneath the x cubed, negative 10x squared underneath its like term. There is no x value with this term, so I'm going to leave a 0 as a placeholder, and then I will continue with the plus 8. So your study tip over here, make sure you leave a space in that column, or you can write 0 if the value does not appear. So then we're just going to add going vertically. So there's imaginary 1 here, if you need it. 3 plus 1 will be 4, x cubed. 2 minus 10 will give you a negative 8, x squared. I'm just going to drop down that minus x, because if you add 0 to it, it will not change. And then last but not least, negative 7 plus 8, or 8 minus 7, is a positive 1. And so that is our answer after adding the polynomial vertically. Okay? I will teach you another way, but if you like to add it that way, feel free to do it. That's my favorite way. So let's do horizontal format. So horizontal, we're just going to write it left to right. So if I want to find the sum, we're going to add them. So I'm going to put this one in parentheses, 9y cubed plus 3y squared minus 2y plus 1. I want to add that to my other polynomial, which is negative 5y squared plus y minus 4. Okay, so if we are adding, all we are doing is combining like terms. Combine like terms. So when you're adding, I'm just going to circle them. I've got a 9y cubed, and I have no other y cubes. So I'm just going to rewrite it, 9y cubed. Let's move on to my next exponent. I've got a positive 3y squared and a negative y squared. So I'm going to say 3 minus 5 is going to get me a negative 2, and then bring that exponent over. Next up, I've got my y term. So I have a negative 2y plus a y. So if you want to put a placeholder there for you, I'm going to have a negative 2 plus a 1, which will end up getting you a negative 1 or just a negative y. Last but not least, we've got our coefficients, just our numbers. I have a positive 1 and a negative 4. So 1 minus 4 would be a negative 3. And so that is our answer if you add the polynomial horizontally. So up to you. If you want to stack them and add them, that would be a good way. Or you can write them horizontally and combine like terms. So those are your two ways of adding polynomials. Let's move on to subtraction. All right, so same as adding, I'm going to teach you two ways, and you pick what your favorite is. So on C, I'm going to subtract 2x cubed plus 6x squared minus x plus 1 from this other polynomial. And so this one tripped me up. Let me put it in terms of numbers. If I want to subtract 10 from 100, I know I would write 100 minus 10 to get 90. So whatever comes first is actually going on the back end of your subtraction problem, and that's a little tricky. So if I want to subtract this polynomial from my second polynomial, I'm actually going to write my second one first. So let's do it vertically. I'm going to have 8x cubed minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 9. And I'm going to subtract that from my other polynomial. 2x cubed a positive 6x squared, a negative x, and a plus 1. So I didn't have any zeros here because they all matched up. Now I'm subtracting this entire polynomial. So what is going to end up happening is you are going to do the opposite of every single term. So you're going to have to change your signs. So I will do that in turquoise. So I'm going to change this to a plus, which will change this to a negative. It'll change this 6 to a negative. It'll change the x to a positive, and it will change this 1 to a negative. So you're going to turn it into addition problem and change all the signs. So now I just do like I did in the first step. So 8 minus 2 would be 6x cubed. Negative 3 minus 6, they're both negative, so I'll get a negative 9x squared. A negative 2 plus a 1 would be a negative 1, or just a negative x. And then 9 minus 1 would be a positive 8. And so that is our answer after subtracting our two polynomials. So it's a little bit more work because you have to change all of the signs of the second polynomial. I will show you it in a horizontal format, and you can pick which one you like better. So in the next one, I want to find the difference. And so if it's finding the difference, I can just subtract the polynomials as they appear to me. It's only when it says subtract something from where you have to switch the order. So this one, I'm just going to have 3z squared plus z minus 4, and I'm going to subtract that with 2z squared plus 3z. Okay, so put them in parentheses with a minus in between. Now this minus, I need to distribute it to every term behind it, which is going to change the signs. So if I have a negative 2 times z squared, it would be negative 2z squared, and then I would have a negative 3z. I drop down the first parenthesis, which you don't need the parentheses anymore. And then like I did in the last problem, I'm going to combine like terms. So I like to circle them. Let's go with blue. My highest exponent is squared. This highest exponent is squared. 3 minus 1, or 3 minus 2 is just a 1. So a 1z squared. My next term is a positive z and a minus 3z. So 1 minus 3 is negative 2z. Nothing can combine with the negative 4, so we're just going to tack it on at the end. So that would be our answer after subtracting our polynomial. I think I messed up somewhere. Nope, didn't mess up, just messed up in my answer key. Okay, so that is a video on adding and subtracting polynomials. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for watching. You can now watch part 2 of multiplying polynomials. Thanks for watching.